Welcome to Story Matrix, another day, another story. It was a dark and stormy night, and Mary was home alone in her small, isolated house on the outskirts of town. She had always been a little uneasy about the old, creaky house, but tonight, she felt a creeping sense of dread that she couldn't shake. She tried to ignore it and settled in to watch a movie, but every time she heard a noise, her heart skipped a beat. She kept glancing over at the window, half expecting to see a face peering in at her. As the night wore on, the storm raged on outside, and the wind howled through the trees. Mary tried to stay calm, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Just as she was about to turn off the TV and go to bed, she heard a knock at the door. She froze, her heart pounding in her chest. Who could it be at this time of night? She cautiously approached the door and peered through the peephole, but all she could see was darkness. She hesitated for a moment, then slowly reached for the doorknob. As she opened the door, a gust of wind blew in, sending shivers down her spine. And standing on the porch was a figure shrouded in shadows, its face hidden in the darkness. Mary's scream echoed through the quiet night as the figure stepped forward, revealing a twisted, demonic face with glowing red eyes. And as the door swung shut behind her, Mary knew she would never escape the horrors that awaited her within the old, creaky house. Mary backed away from the figure on the porch, her heart racing with fear. She could feel the malevolent energy emanating from the twisted creature, and she knew that she had to get away. She turned and ran back into the house, her feet pounding on the floorboards as she searched for a way out. She knew she couldn't go upstairs, the creature would be able to corner her in the bedrooms. She frantically looked around the first floor, trying to find a way to escape. She saw the back door and made a beeline for it, her hand fumbling for the doorknob. But as she touched the cold metal, she heard a voice behind her. "It's no use, Mary," the creature hissed. "You can't escape me." Mary spun around to see the creature standing in the doorway, its twisted face contorted in a grotesque smile. She tried to run, but the creature was too fast. It grabbed her by the arm and dragged her back into the house. As she struggled and screamed, the creature dragged her into the basement and locked her in a dark, musty room. And as the hours ticked by, Mary knew that she would never see the light of day again. Doomed to spend the rest of her days in the clutches of the twisted, demonic creature. For days, Mary was trapped in the basement, her cries for help drowned out by the storm raging outside. She was sure no one would ever find her, and she would spend the rest of her life in this dark, damp prison. But as the days turned into weeks, Mary refused to give up hope. She searched the room for any way to escape, and eventually, she found a loose brick in the wall. She worked tirelessly to pry it out, and finally, after what felt like an eternity, she was able to create a small opening. She squeezed through the hole and found herself in a narrow tunnel that led away from the house. She followed it, crawling on her hands and knees through the cramped, dark space. After what felt like hours, she saw a faint light in the distance and knew she was close to the surface. She redoubled her efforts, crawling faster and faster towards the light. Finally, she emerged from the tunnel and into the rain-soaked night. She was free. She ran through the woods, her heart pounding with fear and adrenaline. She didn't stop until she reached the safety of a nearby town, where she collapsed in a heap and called for help. When the authorities arrived, they searched the old house. They wanted to believe Mary's story because of her physical and mental state. However, they could not find evidence to support any of Mary's claims. Mary never forgot her harrowing experience, but she knew that she had survived something that would haunt her for the rest of her life. And as she lay in her hospital bed, she knew that she was one of the lucky ones. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.